All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. Today we get a very disturbing development in our neighbor country, in Guinea. We understand, say, Guinea has been under an attempted coup by the military, and the reason we make I want to discuss this more because anything will happen at Guinea, it happen as alone. And this now something way very, very terrifying. And considering the fact that those three countries, the Mano River Union, a place where so many things that not happen, the Ebola, the civil war, and especially in Guinea last year, there were some, good thing you're going with me. Okay. All right. Yeah. What them call me fluctuate. So, like I just say, there is a coup attempt in Conakry in Guinea, and a very, very terrifying for the neighboring countries than they, because if you look at the historic perspective of the neighboring countries than they, you know, go want for make anything like that starts happening again in our neighborhood. A very, very important for make we discuss this, because when you look at the situation, Guinea right now, based on what we understand, let me just put this somewhere here. Okay. Based on what we understand right now, Guinea, they don't know what thing they go on, even the Guinean people, and it seems like the report we will get, the country is getting divided by the minutes. There are people within the society we don't begin support these special forces, we you know, make this coup, and there are other parts of the society where they support the president. A very, very terrifying, because we know what we go through in our own country, and when we read things like that, they happen now with neighbor country, we get for be very, very attentive and see what thing they go on in that country there. And let me just try send. Let me see and try share this quickly. So what I try to talk about is what thing they go on in Guinea right now is very, very terrifying. Not only for Guineans, because be attentive. Anything will happen at Guinea, then three countries and the Mano River Union countries, and they Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. Anything will happen one country, it affects another country where it cause some kind of panic. And right now, I can play a video we will get from Al Jazeera earlier, 3 hours ago, where then they try for update on this particular stuff. But before I do that, let me just make some commentary, very important. I want to set the context of the reason why Sierra Leoneans should pay attention on whatever happened in Guinea, for say it affects Sierra Leone. Remember, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, anything will happen within them three countries, and it affect the other two. Remember, the civil war in Liberia, where it started, right? Sierra Leone was peaceful, Guinea was peaceful. But what happened? Few years later, Sierra Leone was involved into or sucked up into that civil war, and we spill to Sierra Leone. And the same thing with Guinea. The civil war na Liberia also spilled na Guinea, we cause a lot of damage na them three countries then they. And now comes to the Ebola. Ebola started in Guinea, all right? According to what we understand, it starts in Guinea. But what happened, it end up for spill over to Sierra Leone and spill over to Liberia. So technically speaking, we are related. In anything we do, we are related. So we therefore pay attention to what happened at them 3 countries then they. And the reason what make it very, very scary for we, right now we don't know whether Alpha Condeh, we see some pictures earlier where the military, the guys that way try for overthrow them, where they show the house or somewhere where is he done and the military surround them. So, but the defense ministry is now saying that Alpha Condeh is unharmed, and we don't know whether it's still there in the hands of the special forces here. And what we understand saying there are some other group within the military where they said they don't start for make a counter attack against the coup makers here. So, and the other thing here is the civilians are caught in the middle. Because now some civilians really support the military, they out there. They celebrate na street while gun firing is still going on at na Conakry, and this don't put them 3 neighboring counties. Then yes, I know say Ibrahim Fofana, I think na Ibrahim Fofana say TPN was so popular prior to Sierra Leone election. It was the platform of choice for SLPP members. Now struggling to get over 20 listeners in their weekly episode. Ibrahim Fofana, we get 3 platforms with the broadcast. The Facebook and YouTube now starts not to start them. Actually, we main major listeners na salon. Say we get 5 FM station na salon where actually they listen to him, where they relay we broadcast, especially on Saturdays. We got 5 broadcasts Saturdays where 5 FM station. It was the TPN was actually exclusively a radio station. Okay, a radio station. So that day we start in 2010 actually, and we just moved to the Facebook and YouTube. All right, so it's gonna take time, right? But if I show you the listening majority way na radio stations, we get my 91 FM radio station where they relay every Saturday. We get one na Freetown, we get one na Bo, we get one na McKinney, and we get one na Kenema. Then stations here, then they relay to the remote villages, na them localities then they, okay? So it's still ongoing, you understand? But that's not the bulk of we listenership. And the reason why we decided for do so, because we want for impact not only the diaspora, we want for impact the local man na salon, because they are the most important people we supposed for talk to. That the reason now and the way we make that conscious decision for affiliate with them 5 FM radio stations and them. And not to everybody gets smartphone na salon, right? Not to everybody. But most of the time, some people that then get a radio station where then they gather around, for see what thing they go on. So that is the bulk of the TPN station. Okay, it's still popular. Okay, probably one of the most popular stations. Remember, almost all the aspirant we contest for the 2018, then can't read the TPN. So yeah, you are right. The TPN was, and not only because we've been the broadcast on our Facebook. In fact, we've not been the broadcast on our Facebook. In fact, but that's not to the point. I just want for respond to you, Ibrahim Fofana, and that's the point. Let me just show you one. Well, let me finish now. I will come back to you and show you. We broadcast yesterday. Just now YouTube alone, almost we get where you say we'll not get 20 listeners. I know say sometimes when I can get a little bit of jealous or whatever when I try to do things then. But TPN don't today TPN are the oldest radio station broadcast. We start in 2010. Mamba TV came along, they fall apart. We still they go on, still popular, When I come, let's see how when I get for end up because the TPN not to like hurricane. We are again now for just a few time, then it dissipates. Now the TPN is a network media, and it is here to stay, and it is here to educate the remote people that are alone. So that's my point. So let me play this video from Al Jazeera. So we go able for. I think I can do it this way. Okay. All right, maybe I can do it this way. Okay. Now listen to this.
With this breaking news story out of Guinea, which we've been covering for a few hours now, President Alpha Condeh is reportedly being held by a group of soldiers. There's been heavy gunfire near the presidential palace in the capital, Conakry. The military has been deployed on the streets and is urging people to stay home. Now, a video has been circulating among local media in Guinea showing President Condeh being detained by Army Special Forces. In the video, Condeh is asked if he was tortured or mistreated, to which he responded, no. Now let's show you where all this is happening. This is the presidential palace in the Kaloum business district of Conakry, where heavily armed soldiers have been seen guarding the area. The exact whereabouts of President Condeh are unknown. It was earlier reported he was near the presidential palace at Hotel Kaloum. Joining us now on the phone is Yusuf Ba, a journalist in Guinea, joining us from Conakry. Yusuf, bring us up to speed with the situation. When we spoke earlier, you reported that gunfire was still ongoing in Conakry. What's been happening right now?
Presently, the situation is still confusing. Still shooting going on. Just call another source now saying there's negotiation going on between the special force, some government officer. Seems like President Alpha Condeh is in the hands of the members of the special force. There's another picture just now, another journalist has called my attention to the President Alpha Condeh was transported into a jeep, maybe to this particular area. And the Minister of Security Office also is being surrounded by the special force. So this has been confirmed by myself. I've seen the special force surrounding the Ministry of Security Office. The situation is very, very confusing, but negotiation is going on now. Maybe this is going to be like another situation, another neighboring countries where negotiation going on between coup leaders and government officials.
Right.
So maybe this is the kind of thing that is going on in Conakry.
Right. Unclear, as you say, as to where the president is right now. Tell us about the reactions. Of course, this has been happening in Kaloum, which is a business district of Conakry. It is Sunday, so it wouldn't be as busy as it would be on a weekday. But there have been reactions. I mean, people are scared, but there have been celebrations, I understand, in some other parts of Conakry.
So how do you combat excess gas, which leads to issues like bloating, a distended stomach, and most of the time, socially...
Yeah, Bambeto area, commonly called the Heart of Conakry, the opposition stronghold. The people have been dancing, celebrating. They accept. It's like they welcome any coup, and they welcome all the social media messages that is going around that there is the coup d'etat. So it's very, very confusing. The other area where you have supporters of President Alpha Condeh, everybody's indoors. Everybody's indoors. Nobody's outside. And a few people we are seeing out going to Washington to get food, like bread and other food stuff. The situation is very, very confusing. I'm talking to you now. Even where I'm standing.
Right.
Every journalist, I'm the only journalist standing around. Only TV5 journalists was around just now. It was like he's trying to escape his car.
Okay, so a fluid situation. Thank you, Yusuf, for updating us on what's happening in Conakry. Let's bring in West Africa correspondent now, Nicholas Hack, who's also following events for us. He's joining us live from Dakar. Yusuf, Nick says there that there are some sorts of negotiations going on as far as President Condeh is concerned. We don't know what's happened to him or where he is right now. Just give us some context, some background to all this. It's not the first time there's an attempted coup in Guinea. What could have led to this latest tension and unrest that we're seeing?
Hopefully, there's been growing discontent against President Alpha Condeh ever since he tweaked the constitution, allowing him to run for a third term. And the outcome of this election that took place last November, that was contested by the opposition and civil society actors. And they took to the streets. And in response, it was a heavy-handed reaction, according to human rights groups and Amnesty. Security forces shooting live ammunition towards protesters. And so ever since that election, there's been a situation of instability. It became the status quo for Guinea. And Alpha Condeh had just a week ago passed a new bill in the parliament that irked a lot of people, especially members of the security forces, where he essentially allowed himself a pay increase for the presidency and himself, and a pay decrease for civil servants, including members of the security forces. Now, the gunfire that we've seen in Conakry, the battle that's been
Nicholas,
happening.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, because we're getting live pictures from state television in Guinea right now, for the RTG, which is a state-owned television, and we see soldiers on TV right now addressing, it seems, the nation. The picture is frozen for a second, but hopefully we'll get it back on. They've been delivering a statement, it would appear. Unclear who these soldiers are, but a number of them, about 3, 6, 9, 10 soldiers on the national TV in Guinea right now, addressing the nation. This is, of course, pointing to the confusing situation. Let's try and listen in a bit, and I'll try to translate if I can.
Un système qui n'existe pas. Et ce système, il faut qu'on le fasse tous ensemble. Il y a eu beaucoup de morts pour rien, beaucoup de blessés, beaucoup de larmes. Alors qu'on aime tous la Guinée. Donc, je pense qu'il est temps pour nous de se comprendre, de se donner la main et s'asseoir, d'écrire une constitution qui est adaptée à nos réalités, capable de régler nos problèmes. Parce que si vous voyez l'état de nos routes, si vous voyez l'état de nos hôpitaux, vous vous rendez compte qu'après 62 ans, il est temps pour nous.
Okay, let me just translate a bit of what we've heard there from that army commander. Not clear what his rank is, but he says it's now time for Guinea to unite. It's time for us to create a new constitution which is capable of addressing the country's issues. This is increasingly looking like a coup d'etat, Nick Hack, with these soldiers now appearing on national television addressing the people of Guinea.
That's right. In fact, there's been a video circulating on social media where we see members of the Red Beret, the Presidential Guard, addressing people, addressing fellow soldiers to rally on their cause. And in that speech, they explained that there were too many deaths and that it's time to sit down, perhaps rewrite a constitution adapted to the circumstances of Guinea, talking about the situation in hospitals and at schools. Essentially, during the rule of Alpha Condeh, there's been a huge increase in the economic prospects. A country that's wealthy in iron ore and exports have been increasing rapidly, especially to China, Russia, and to Europe. But the circumstances of ordinary Guineans have gone from bad to worse. Most people live on less than $2 a day. They've struggled through the economic pandemic where there were heavy restrictions put in place. And many people who live just on $2 a day and that get by on a day's wage, well, they weren't able to survive. And also the heavy-handedness of the security forces and this sense amongst a portion of Guinea's population that they weren't being represented by Alpha Condeh. Remember, during the last election, the Office of the United Nations Watch on Genocide pointed out that Alpha Condeh should calm down on his rhetoric, his ethnic rhetoric in this country where the Fulanis make up the majority, but the Malinke, from which he is from, have taken up key position in the government and security forces. So there was growing division within society there.
Okay, we've lost, have we lost it? We still have those pictures from RTG, the national broadcaster in Guinea. Well, they're leaving now. The people who were speaking from the army, unclear who's in charge right now. I know you've watched a lot of the same videos as I have, Nick, of these soldiers, red berets, who are the presidential guard, of course. Is it clear now who's in charge? Who did we see in that video, you think, of these soldiers speaking on national television?
Well, what's interesting is we've seen the Red Berets, the presidential guards that are meant to protect the president, now holding the president under arrest. But we've also seen the elite special forces that have been on the ground. It seems coordinating with these Red Berets. And one name has been floating around social media, Mamadou Doumbouya, who is the head of the special forces, a former French engineer who came in 2018 to reinforce these special forces. And he's been accused by the government, who saw him with suspicion of trying to move away from the Ministry of Defense to gain greater independence and seen as perhaps a foe to the president. But what's clear in this message and this action that we've seen of these special forces, these armed forces, that they feel that the civilian rule or the democratic way isn't representing Guineans, and they felt that they should take over power to bring what they believe is a new Guinea, a feeling perhaps emulating what happened in a neighboring country in Mali, where we've seen the military takeover when there was a popular uprising and popular protests against the president there. We have to remember fully that in Guinea there's been protest for the last year that you and I have been covering in the region, protesting the rule of Alpha Condeh, and that may explain why these emboldened soldiers took to what they're doing right now.
Let me just remind our viewers, Nick, of what we're watching right now. These are the latest pictures coming to us from Guinea's state broadcaster RTG. It is now past 5 p.m. in Guinea, 5:12 p.m. It's GMT time, no, actually 5:12 p.m. here in Doha, so that's 14:12 p.m. GMT in Guinea, and soldiers have appeared on national television addressing Guineans and saying that now is the time for Guinea to unite and create a new constitution that would address the country's problems. As Nick Hack said there, this increasingly looks like a coup d'etat against President Alpha Condeh. And this coup reportedly has been led by Lieutenant Colonel Doumbouya, who has been, we understand, speaking on national television. He said that borders of the country have been closed and the current constitution of Guinea has been suspended until a new one is created. As Nick Hack said, this is not the first time there's been a coup attempt in Guinea. Unclear as to the extent of the success of this one, because we still don't know the whereabouts of President Alpha Condeh. Nick, stand by. We'll bring you in just a second. In the meantime, let's speak to Marie-Roger Biloa, who's CEO of Africa International Media Group, and she's joining us via Skype from Paris. I imagine the French watching what's happening in Guinea very closely, Marie-Roger, given that it's one of their former colonies and a lot of French interests in that country. Does this coup or attempted coup, if we may call it that, come as a surprise to you?
Well, of course, obviously, it's very much people are following very closely what is happening in Guinea. I must say, since election earlier this year, the tension has grown, and it's not. It did not become lower, the tension, and the situation in Mali was also in 20-something. And we have been hearing of rumors of a couple of weeks ago, and we sort of, it's always surprising when it really happens. And what we know so far is that the head of the special forces in India had an argument yesterday with the Minister of Defense. And this has it had been alluded to the bad relationship they had together, and then that started early this morning, and what we believed is that he could not rally all the security forces of Guinea, and that he was mastering only the special forces, but it doesn't seem to be true. But still, they could capture the president. They have the president in their hands, in their custody, but there's a communique of the Minister of Defense saying, well, they are still fighting, there's an attempted coup, it didn't work, they are urging everyone. So
unclear right now, even though we're seeing these pictures of these soldiers on national television, which is very often what happens in many African countries in that region anyway. When a coup happens, the soldiers go on TV and say, okay, we've done this, we're now in charge. But at this stage in Guinea, it's unclear who's in charge or whether this coup has been successful or not. The army in Guinea, to what extent has it been united around President Condeh? That has been, many people would say, his strength in all these years as he's been in power, including during this controversial third term, has been his ability to maintain the army around him, surround himself with a strong army. But now these cracks seem to have appeared within the military.
Yes, and the special forces were, let's say, they are considered the Malinke same ethnic
group as the president, indeed.
And he was trusting them. But I must say, this third term was not settled yet, unlike Cote d'Ivoire, where there was also a third term issue. But you see political life reviving. Laurent Gbagbo came back. They are creating new parties, new coalition. But
it's interesting that you talk about Ivory Coast, and I want to ask you something about that. I mean, there are those who say, the cynics anyway, would say that the difference between Ivory Coast and Guinea, the fact that Alassane Ouattara was able to go on with this third term, is that because he had the backing of the former colonial power, France. To what extent is or was France still supporting Alpha Condeh?
Yeah, okay. France is not at all supporting Alpha Condeh. That is true. That the relationship is very different with President Ouattara. And as a matter of fact, President Alpha Condeh in France for over 2 years, which is unusual. He just came back from holidays in Turkey or some other places, not France anymore. And I know there were forces around him trying to reconcile Alpha Condeh with France. And even this week, meet with people speaking about that, said we cannot go on having that bad relationship. That can happen again. So that was a concern.
Okay.
So I trust that the military special forces knew that President Condeh won't have any backing from France if they do the coup.
Okay, interesting. to talk to you about this. Of course, we are in unknown territory here as far as what is happening in Conakry and what's going to happen. Marie-Roger Biloa, thank you so much for joining us.
Guys, we will never make another mortgage payment to the bank. Cheers. We just got a check for $26,000 to help pay our mortgage expenses.
The American Mortgage Association is providing homeowners with financial relief and assistance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as all see, let me just turn off this now, and it's still coming. So we got the book in our hands.
This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
We watch different media and try to figure out what is actually going on with this particular issue. Where would they get so? So your comments is welcome, and I want to read a few of the comments and I respond to them. Comment and them. Let me just read. I think we get 3 comments so far. Well, George Owell just say hi. Hi, George Owell. Thank you very much for joining us. And the first comment says it's coming from Peter Dauda. Peter Dauda says Guinea shares borders with 6 other African countries. True. And the other side of Guinea, they share with other Ivory Coast, Senegal, and the other Guinea-Bissau, and all those countries share border. But we did talk about we own border, you know, we own border, and how it get for affect we as Sierra Leone and as a country. And as I've been saying earlier, there's always the potential for chaos, for spill from one country to another, especially Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. That is the issue here we get for look at very seriously. And looking at the way some folks na social media, where they na salon, they try to instigate violence na Sierra Leone, and seeing things like that now we neighbor country they happen, the potential for some crazy them for imitate. Remember, this don't happen before in history, right? Remember when the NPRC overthrew Sierra Leone, because of that inspiration, it make Jamaica, Gambia overthrow also. So that's not the thing where some of we did try for look at and say, okay, let we pay attention into this, and this also get for cut across political line as alone. If we na the diaspora, specifically Sierra Leoneans na the diaspora, then they instigate things them, oh, let we overthrow this. Guinea just don't do this. And right now we don't even know, like what you hearing from Al Jazeera, the situation is very, very bleak. We don't know what's in the go on. We don't know exactly whether this military coup makers then don't succeed. Yes, the thing where them confirm is then get Alpha Condeh that then custody. But even the military, as we speak, it seems like the military is split. This is not the danger of and first of all, come on, for God's sakes, the 21st century. This is 2021. Why every time when they say coup na Africa, every time you hear about coup, check na Africa, na they come out. Unfortunately, West Africa, just few months back, Mali, they get a coup, right? Mali, then get a coup, and what happened? Right now, the country Nasonomo is not stable at all from where that could, in fact, a few months back, the coup maker, the person where they called Mali, they may want to assassinate him back na one Friday prayer where you go pray. These are some of the things anybody where they tolerate now this 21st century coup. I think say now somebody will live now the 19th century, because at least we for begin look at coups as history, you know. So let me go to Ibrahim Fofana, or I'll be not what I call this again, but I go put them back. And I know say this Ibrahim Fofana now the guy will run away from NGC. I don't know whether because they not give him or then they not give him the opportunity for do what he want for do. But now Ibrahim Fofana, where we always they see on social media. Ibrahim Fofana says TPN was so popular prior to Sierra Leone election. It was the platform of choice for SLPP members. Now struggling to get even 20 listeners in their weekly episode. I don't know who say they watch Ibrahim Fofana. If na Facebook, I did take say na Facebook they watch, but the TPN gets 3 platforms. 3 platforms where they broadcast. The list where actually they watch na Facebook. Let me show you. The TPN, first of all, the TPN exclusively in 2010 now a radio station exclusively, probably right now the oldest network media now for for Sierra Leone diaspora. Let me show you. We get the radio station. We will get an app where people then they listen. And within that radio station, we get 5 radio stations. Then they relay, we broadcast na salon. Let me show you we websites right now. Let me just bring it here so that you will able to see. All right, let me show you my brother. Let me bring this here. Okay. So this is our website, okay, Ibrahim Fofana, and I urge you for make you download the app. Actually, you go able for enjoy them. This na the TPN website, all right? Okay. If you look at right now, well, let me show you first the FM stations. Then we the relay. We get FM 91.5 FM na Mile 91. We get FM 103.5 na Freetown. We get FM 99.5 na Kenema. We get FM 94.6 na Makeni, and we get FM 81.9 na Bo. Now, let me show you one thing. Hey, I hope say they watch, Ibrahim. I hope say they watch. Now, look at right now we listeners. Right now, as we speak, we get 16,402 people who they listen that we radio station. Download the app for make yourself go enjoy. You see, Anaya? See, here, right here, 16,402 listeners right now as we speak. So the Facebook now recently we actually begin broadcast now Facebook. So we get for take time for make we able to gather all the viewership now Facebook. But let me also show you now we YouTube. I don't know the answer, but at least for make not for you more now for make the one that we they watch for make the okay hold on let it load the okay it did load. So yeah, these are some of we platform where we actually okay don't load. Let me come to we channel. I think now we channel is. Here is our channel. Okay. Yesterday alone, the broadcast we make when a KKY court ruling has implication on to CMAS, now 3,200 viewers. So we get three platforms what they call the most popular, like what you see, the most popular is still the radio station, okay? Now let me go to George says hi. Hi George, how are you doing? Yorobari say All right. Let me just block this guy, because so we don't want people with the cost now we platform. You don't need for cost now platform. I believe say your body na Guinean, Sierra Leonean probably. Probably now maybe now somebody they try for course. He put an at the TPN. Okay, let me delete that. Yeah, body they we got one thing now with culture, and especially the Fula culture. And if you, I get Fula blood anyway. I want to make you know that. So I know a little bit about Fula. Fula culture now one of the most respectful culture, especially when it comes from public. All right, when it comes from public, Fula culture is very, very, very respectful. Now a culture where they respect people, them they behave in a way very, very consistent with the Fula tribes. So when we see somebody they come for camp cost now public, I don't know who that is cause. So it was very, very unfortunate, and I've not been read the comments before I put on the broadcast. So no, that's not me mistake what I do. Okay, so you don't need to do that. If you angry with somebody, go now in private with them, call and do whatever you get for do with them. But now a public platform, it just they show the parental upbringing. When somebody they out there they cause now public now a pictorial view of the parental bringing, and I'm not saying probably they not bring you up with this type of things at all. So that's my idea. So now we continue with this. We got about 5 more minutes to go for make we close the we not get updates again. So now that make we'll not go continue. When we get updates, will they come back and tell you now. But Guinea coup now a concern for we all. If Guinea is stable, Sierra Leone is stable. If Sierra Leone is stable, Guinea will be stable. If Sierra Leone is stable, Liberia will be stable. This triangular countries, you know, they all share the same border, they all share the same culture, with the exception of the language where it happened for BC. Guinea, then they speak the official language not French, Sierra Leone and English, Liberia and English. But before the colonization, we can split we into 3 or more, or the entire Africa for that matter. We were the same people, you know. We are the same people. So anything that affects one country affects the other, and that's not the situation we not want to see. And the last thing I want to say again, because these are some of the things. If you they watch the Guinean social media prior to this, if you watch Guinean social media prior to this, you they see exactly the trend where some of the Guineans them waiting at the diaspora, you know, waiting then they talk about their country, what then they do about their own individual tribe. If you listen to Al Jazeera, the video I just played, you just know, because we are so attached to we tribe. You remember Al Jazeera, this the Lord they put and say like not just ordinary Guineans soldiers and them do this. You know what thing the Western media right and then they talk. Alpha Condeh is from the Malinka tribe, and now the Malinka, I think the coup leader is na Malinka. waiting that they tell you. They don't begin shift time from being a Guinean coup or a Guinean problem to a tribal problem. And this exactly now the things the way they on social media, Guinean diasporans and them they focus on, just like Sierra Leoneans then at the diaspora, where they so obsessed with tribal, sentiment, oh, this, not that, not this, all this type of nonsense where they go on the diaspora. That's not in the happen. Peter says all neighboring countries to Guinea must close their borders in reciprocation. Exactly. And I know, hopefully, Sierra Leone, then we don't close them border at this particular time for make sure they're able to protect their young citizen, or this type of problem for make they're able to prevent them from spill over to Sierra Leone, especially at a time when we get people there, we get some unethical, uncivilized Sierra Leoneans, the way them just want for make problem happen at that country day. And I bet you, if you get for going on social media, I don't know say if we don't start, but I bet you same the next thing where they are in a social media, especially in a WhatsApp, for compare this particular coup to Sierra Leone, you will get people judges now. Then they come. As I some of them, then they come judges now. Then begin with them say, "Wait, Guinea no more is start Salon left." This nonsense, irresponsible behavior way we get, because we get platforms that now we don't give it the free will. Somebody they don't sleep now. Where he grab with all his stress, he go on social media for go vent out his stress, for make he go release the pressure from his stress. Then go can't do this, but they can begin talk saying when Guinea is Guinea na Salon na left, you go see them. You go see them, and I believe him probably sometime them go down begin talk about them kind of nonsense thing that they against them. Anybody, irrespective of what you think of your president, irrespective of the Guineans, what you then think about Alpha Condeh. Alpha Condeh, first of all, na kind of a dictator based on what we understand, because at the end of the day, it killed a lot of people for making it able for extend in term of office normal. That's not something where a very, very bad for Guinea. We know that. But at that time, we get the international community. Some of our way, people like Abraham Fofana, I always did on social media, they talk about international community. I don't know that guy, I sometimes see the thing. The international community, now, a group of people from different countries where they happen to be part of an organization for making them able to promote the agenda, the interests of their country. The first priority of international community now their own interests. It doesn't matter. They get, I don't say they need the help. And I told you that, yeah, sorry, Mr. Kile. Yes, I did talk about Alpha Condeh, not Alpha Condeh. Sorry, you're right. So let me come back to the international community. We can see unions all the time, and they talk about the international community, At one time, I even confront Ibrahim Fofana, where he go like say, Madabio and wife, the name they need the international criminal court. And when the one way post that na the TPN forum, and I tell her, say, ask Ibrahim Fofana, who said he pull this information. I think the person asked Ibrahim Fofana, who said he pull this information. Ibrahim Fofana give a link. The link where Ibrahim Fofana give. Now, one guy, when a Sierra Leonean disgruntled, we put a blog for say, then they work very hard for make them put Madabio, now the International Criminal Court, for the crimes the way he commits. That to us, the link, the information the way he buy for get, where he twist them, he say this guy did at the internal community. What to make they bring this? If we always will, I not say make we not depend on that, but if we always put all we life, we hope that the internal community, those are things that they work. These are people that represent their own countries, their interests. So the best way where we as Sierra Leoneans go able for progress, for develop we country, for that we take things and do things for ourselves. Yes, there are times when we get for call on the international community. If they come, fine. If they not come, fine. Alpha Condeh, when they start with this term extension, the people then go on the street, the international community, what do they do? They come out and talk, put press releases and, you know, this is bad, this is what they call it. You know what? In fact, China, I've been hearing one Chinese, we get a company na Guinea earlier today, he been a talk, now one of the, I think that CG TV, the Chinese Broadcasting Corporation. It been a talk from Guinea. When Alpha Condeh begin kill innocent people, because people they no want for make this third time crap way it been they put make it not happen. The international community now one of the most hypocritical organizations in the world. Then come out and put press releases and say this is bad. People then therefore be very careful. The rights of citizens should be respected. That's it. That's it. You know what in Guinea do? Alpha Condeh do? Because one of the so-called international community, we put out some of their press releases and it happened for the China government. And guess what? China na in the mine that and on Guinea. You know what Alpha Condeh do? He want them say if they want to stay na Guinea for continue for do business, then get for stay away from their local politics. From that time they then set what? So what in that tells you? It tells you say international community are more about their own self-interest than the interest of Africa. So no put you egg for say, oh, the international community they can do. No. Madabio, if you do bad, let we criticize them. And when the time reach in 2023, we believe saying enough fulfill in promises, it fail. You know what will they do? Now we go vote them out. If somebody not begin with them, say, now we go destroy some things and properties them. Now salon. Now we go do this. Now we go do that. Guinea. Now this don't cause a problem na Guinea. And you know that they get for that just now? Are the innocent people them? And they get for that. You see, Alpha Condeh says, they surround that. He sit down suffer. Okay? He sit down very comfortably. Well, I don't know if not comfortable, but at least the way we see the pictures, the videos, it seems like it's okay. It's unharmed. So this now the message today for we all, for make we able for understanding if you not to the person who is responsible for take care of your house. Believe me, if you depend on somebody else, your neighbor for can make your house, that neighbor the way it can your house. If you meet property then that neighbor they take them property then they can them go for go make your house because nobody not go make your house, he left your house. No. In order for somebody for go make your house, if you don't make your house first, in your house for make you know say yes, this is okay. Then now, they go for go make EOs if not so. And this is exactly now the problem we'll get in Africa. If you listen to candidates them when election time come, the best campaign, the international community, then trust me. The international community then trust me. I will able to talk to IMF for go loan money. I able to loan money from the World Bank. In order to tell you, say, I go able for build with local economy so that we will be self-reliance. Everything at the international community. Everything. You know, I see most of the time, I see when people then they glad we IMF the loan Sierra Leone, then 50 million, 100 million, or China the loan Sierra Leone, all them kind of money then they. We get people the way they celebrate. That's to them now an affirmation for saying the international community like this president. Make you see the backward thinking where Sierra Leoneans then get. You dey go celebrate because somebody loan you money where you get for paid nearly 30% or 15% of the interest. And guess what? Most of the money that when they take back then the loan we, now money will come up from Africa. You know, whether they then corrupt politics, right now then they pollute we co-farm, then they go build hotels and Gambia and other places and take this money, then they go put on banks and foreign banks them. Now this money, their international community then they use, then they take them, with your money, then they take them, and they go loan with your money, then they go loan with, then put high interest on top of that. So now, they not only take with your money for loan with, now, will they pay interest on top of your money? Let you see the stupidity of African politicians them. And we, one of the citizens them, what will happen? We are glad because now we party in the power. We are happy, right? Very, very happy. You see, this show sayers, Madabio, the international community trust them, that make, then the loan, if they not trust them, they need the loan money. Backward thinking. Backward thinking. Waiting Africa need at this time for make them rebuild their local economy. If we're able to rebuild the local economy, we will able to break, all this shackle of colonialism. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. And unfortunately, we don't can at the diaspora, don't can get good education. Now we backward in terms of thinking past we brothers and sisters there. Even we mama they're waiting at the villages them. Because we mama they're waiting at the village, don't care much. What they care about when do clean it taking in Calabas for go find food. Na bush for car eat. That's all they care about. We know some of the implications of them things are like them falling in debt here. Now they glad because if right now the SLPP folks then they glad because if IMF loan Madab in government money, then they glad. The same thing we already been doing at the APC. We've been glad when the IMF loan the APC government money. But at the end of the day, whether they end up for pay that money there. Are the people there who they know they eat safe. They know they eat. Not them. Would I supposed to be the spokespeople for them people then they them vulnerable people then they. Now we waiting at the diaspora because we know what thing they go on. We don't can live in our society, in our advanced civilized society. We know how the society then they sacrifice in order for make them be beside them be today so. But because of greed, ethnocentric, and all the bad things them we think about Africa, they now we aid. We give a damn for able for protect the people them. We will only pretend like say we dey protect the people them because we hate the other guy within the power. Whether he do good or he do bad, we dey always dey criticize that guy there. You know. So, all right. Killer Saul says the problem with our continent is nepotism. Sierra Leone, we will not engage in such practice again, but through the bailout or the ballot box, long live Sierra Leone. My brother, nepotism is just part of the problem. And nepotism is as a result of tribalism, sectionalism, regionalism, backward thinking, and selfishness. Because you know they go take somebody who not qualify for a particular position in put on there, just for nothing, he just want for put on there. Either because of the relationship when you get with that person there, now you make it, they go take somebody who not qualify, you go put on because he just want for make that person there you know, go thief. Because now your brother, now your tribesman, now your regional comrade or whatever, now your party leader. So nepotism, now just the outcome of all the other factors where I just don't put so. That is where we have a problem. And this is where we put ourselves until we within the diaspora begin the you know, wash this endemic, you know, chronic, you know, way of behavior, we are always going to revert back to the same problem. Wait till election candidates in 2023. Make you see. Watch 2023. You will get somebody where they can tell you, same, you know, I they vote this for this person because now my brother. Okay? For vote for your brother, I don't think it's a bad thing. But not just take this person and vote for him na a position of trust just because now your brother. May your brother get some kind of quality where you able to bring development and progress na that locality, na that constituency, na that country. Then it is good. But all the other factors we not consider. We not consider qualification. We not consider efficacy. You know, we just consider this na me tribesman, this na me brother, and that's not the problem we'll get. And I just want to thank now once again. I know say right now this school will happen na Guinea, so Salon media anarchists them. Then go take advantage of this, no, say na Salon left. No, not to Salon left. We know they tolerate coup na that country. Them. If you think say the best way for pull somebody from power is through coup, Me I APC man, but I not going ever support a coup na that country. Again, well, I be young when the NPRC come. Now we all been celebrate na street of Freetown, right? We been celebrate. Well, yeah, we been celebrate. But haven't gone through all the difficulties where I go through and come to the United States and learn how them people are able for pull off some of the things that we then do for make them be outside them beats today. So it's all about sacrifice. We get for sacrifice. But no, we no one for do them. We want for still stuck into the 17th, 15th century. Tribalism. When the time when people are ruled based on tribes. People are considered based on tribes. We still stuck in that era. And you, we always the kind of social media with big mouth. They talk about how we get for destroy this country, we get for do this. They help the situation. You are not helping. What you? Now we put on the power. We call for democratic practices, not so. this not just one of the consequences of democratic practices where we've been called for. I they tell you for free. So whether you elect the president or you don't elect him, that's not part of democracy. The majority carries the vote. It happened for BC. The majority now them decide say we get for put Madabio no coup. So forget about it. You can talk till you tire. You can talk till you pull flush now you mouth. We know they pull down. When the time reach, we decide back the way we decide for put on the power, and so we decide back for pull on the power. So for try for compare within the go on Guinea with Salon, na rubbish. You know they help. And I don't think say no civilized somebody go even tolerate that. Not civilize somebody. Anybody who like that country, they not go ever think of a coup na that country because you know say at the end of the day na disaster. Yeah, we love democracy in Sierra Leone, Mr. Peter Dauda. We do. And I don't want to let people their mistakes because you know one of the biggest problems we get in Sierra Leone is we love democracy. Definitely we love democracy. We get few people that we just believe say now one side no more supposed for rule. Whether you talk about the SNPP side, then get fanatics the way feel saying that they're supposed for rule no more. We suffer the APC, we get that problem there. We just feel saying that we supposed for rule no more. Well, if that is the case, then why would not for be non live with the one party state? We don't get a problem with that. So you know, they're not going to say, oh, this is not party, this is not party. During the time, some of who not been born it, during the time, when one party state come in, what will happen? No problem with some of the things that the city today. So, but we decide say we have to move forward as the world they move forward. Then we adopt this system of democracy. We adopt the system now because you lost power now. You know, we give chance for the other person for making room. Because you win power, now you want for revenge because the other person, whether the opposition, it become vulnerable, it become very strong. That is the problem we get na Salon. But in terms of whether we love democracy in Salon, yes, we do. We do love democracy in Salon. Because at the end of the day, we're not being called for elections. We only know the diaspora, now we know the problem. The biggest problem is the diaspora. Now that be a problem. Don't get me wrong. You get that problem. And you need to fix that. If you don't fix that, we will put out the next election. But it is you and me. We're able to make sure same. We're able move from one step to the other. Other than that, my brother, it's better we live in a one-party state because we behave all now like a one-party state, unfortunately. But we love democracy. We want to be part of the democratic world, democratic countries. And for the past since 1996, we're very young. Mistakes, they happen. We get people that were still greedy. We get people that were still selfish. Right? And unfortunately, they are part of the community. We're not going to be able to ignore them. We're not going to be able to push them out. They are part of the community. Right? So that's the situation. Okay. Well, what you make at this talk, Bashiru, what you make at this say we the diaspora, I don't say we get 100% fault for what they happen at Salon, but majority of the faults where they happen at Salon, now we the exacerbate them. You know, now we the mislead people them. You know, now we the we get influence. Bashiru, we get influence at Salon. You where they na America so. You know how many people they will get influence on Salon. Where you they talk to. Forget about the money where they spend to them people then they just the one the way they talk to, where then they listen to you. And then people then they then get friends them. Get friends then they then get friends them. You know, where they call networking. You understand? Political networking. We could have used these influences we will get for make we able for educate with people them for make them able to do the right thing. But no, we not the one. Instead, we they give them bad information. That's not the problem. Why I say now because imagine, people are looking up to us, by the diaspora, right? People are looking up to us. To be honest with you, if you look at the networking where you get Masa alone from your family, then friends, and you look at that networking, Bashiru, the least person in the diaspora, it gets influence on over 1,000 people, Masa alone. If you look at the networking, over 1,000 people. How many people they within at the diaspora? How many people they within a salon? So let's use their influence then for make we able to teach them patriotism. What is they supposed to do for make them detach themselves from ethnocentric politics? If I've been go a long way. To be honest with you, if I've been go a long way, but we are not doing that. Instead, within the social media, they lambast people them. Let we go burn police station. Let we go burn CID. Let we go kidnap this person. Let we go on the street and go cause problem. These are some of our things all the time. So now that make us say we are the problem because people are looking up to us, but we never deliver in a way we're supposed to help the country. All right. So pizza. I'm almost out of time, but I just want to wrap up this. Peter says, judging by what is going on, I believe that Sierra Leoneans cannot afford democratic principle. Okay. Well, Bashir, I know say it can't for camp lambast me. Bashir, I know say. Yeah. Bashir, hold on. I've not been put Skype it. Hold on. Hi, you hear me? Bashir.
They hear me?
Yeah, they hear you.
So, I think the issue I have with this diaspora thing is, first of all, we put too much responsibility on WISF.
And we should do that.
So special. We're not that special from the people who left us. Okay? And there's also a difference in diaspora. Okay? Just because somebody don't live in the kingdom of America, don't mean to know that. Okay? A lot of people.
You never drive, right?
No, I actually don't have beach.
Oh, okay. That make the breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you. Okay. Go ahead.
This better?
Yeah, you better, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that live there and not get any exposure to anything better.
I think
it's politics from 19 whatever, and some people are the same one. I don't want to know. Even in America, you ask a man, there's a congressman in Sabia, and they tell him how to vote. In America, there's someone they barely know anything about that. So for make we start for the only people in the responsibility to say they're no better than job for educate people and back home. It's just that's why I feel like we don't get bad name back home because of this diaspora thing. We get a lot of incompetent people end up getting sent home, and we expect them to do magic. And then even in this country, they've never been in charge of anybody. They've never led anything, and you somehow think they are supposed to, because you don't leave America somehow, or you don't live UK, you somehow get this supernatural power to do better.
all right. Okay. Well, the point why they try for
we have to push against that.
all right. The point. Okay. The point why they try for make here is that I agree with you totally. A lot of people they are waiting at the diaspora, they're not responsible at all. We know that. Some of them do not even understand what they want at their own backyard. I know that, you understand? But the problem, the thing why they try for talk about is let's say we get 10,000 people at the entire diaspora. out of a million or whatever, 500,000, it doesn't matter. But let's say we get 10,000 people that will really understand, then get this idea how the Western country they work for make them prosper. 10,000 people they are totally I think say that's an you be the try for call me. Okay, so now we say each of them, the 10,000 people they able to influence. That's 100 people. Now they networking, family networking. You don't think say we're supposed to don't cover the entire 7.5 million people like that alone? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Disagree.
You look at how many students universities of Sierra Leone is graduating every year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge amount of students that are graduating every year. If you really want to make change, no, people, how much they all apply. Yeah, that's what we sit them all down. Sorry, Michael. You want to make change, that's where you start to make a change. Actually, how you educate people. Okay? We keep doing the same thing, thinking, country with some man not live for the past 20 years, maybe not live inside Salome for more than 3 or 6 months. And somehow we think we know the pulse of Salome, which is an equivalent is tick. It's honestly, it's this sense of grandiose, this sense of entitlement that we somehow know more. So in a country that we've now lived for so long, that we know more about the people actually live inside the country, we have to go and actually see what's going on there and how you change it. Yes, there's a job that diasporans can do. There's a job that talent-wise a lot of people can do. But looking even in diaspora, what I really need is a lot of diaspora to go there with business, to go there with skills, than just politics. Everybody to go into politics. Yeah, most time they're not the brains anyway. To be honest, even if we know that America, most of the people they're not necessarily the brains.
Well, it doesn't take 1 million people for changing a country. From history time, now only few people, maybe 5, 6, 7 people within a country, that because of them, then get this this idea for say we want for do something for we county. Now then they start revolutions. Then they start with 1 million people. Then they start with 1 or 2 people. Now, you see, so that we can
show me a country we don't change. That the leader was not ready for that change. Show me a country where all of people are able to change when the leader at the top wasn't ready to change.
Well, when you come, you mean in terms of democracy or in terms of
democracy, even democracy or even dictatorship. To make them succeed is that the leader is open for change. The leader looks at the system and says, we can do it better. But the problem with the guy is Salome, my brother, is that they take 50 of you kind, the way you think, the president APC, you go today, the wrong president, you're unable to you're unable to succeed.
I agree. I totally agree with
the wrong president, you're unable to succeed. So you need a president who actually looks at the country and actually want better for the country, not just voting more better for ABC.
I totally agree with you.
Country waiting better for the country, and that's what we're missing. We've got a lot of people we only care about their own re-election.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you on that side. And on Adame, you see, we get a lot for do, Bashiru, and it's very, very difficult, a very steep climb with the climb, because this so them bring we up, this selfish behavior. Kausu been talk one thing I way up till now, it didn't ring me na my mind. He say Africa man, it always get excuse for make it able to divide itself. If you not divide itself by tribe, within the tribe, it go tell you say, well, this person now that section there you come out. If now within the section you go tell you say, well, this paramount chief in Papa be with so there is always an exception.
We do. We start first to say, okay, me and the north come out. We go to the north to say, well, now we come out Kabbalah.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
From Mali. We can't talk about it when I come on this side. So we better pass on come on the other side. It's there. It's always there. But one thing one thing between me and you two, if we take a look at that, we need to get, I mean, in the camp of politics, we're still on the different sides in salon politics. But my God, I think that we'll get in common way more. Why? Because of how we approach salon problems. We did approach it just by partisan way. You know? So this week, I see people people who then get two sims. Tomorrow when I citizens in England, and these are people who are interested in politics, so the whole day in politics and the then they root from make this court case, make Yumkela loss in parliamentary seats. They don't even realize how that they affect them. Then you also they don't realize that because of this hate.
Yeah, we talk about this. We talk about this yesterday in the program. You know, when some
you want polish one person, you forget say you stab yourself. I mean, that ruling day, Makota, it better for me, you, and everybody. I don't care who's part of politics today. It's doing more footing in salon politics. Things we talk about, it's doing more footing now, so we're able to have that change in that conversation. Because we're able to participate fully.
Yeah, now there is no more barrier. And this don't cause a lot of headache within the locals them. So Musa Conte just says, he said the local Sierra Leoneans are never in the mood of conceding to ideas of fellow Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora. They are always ready to negate ideas behind your back, with the mere saying that they think they know better than us because they are now abroad. You cannot totally rest blame for the spoil of the country on the actions of the diaspora. I know they say we get 100% blame. The blame where I blame we, education, the quoting Bashir in the talk, I agree with them for saying we get probably the majority of the Sierra Leoneans and the diaspora, they don't even understand what they go on their own. So they don't understand the way things work, even in the diaspora. So not to them people then, we will at least get this idea how we supposed to use waiting the idea we'll get for go put them, and instead we change them in a way where we're able to destroy that country. That's the blame where I get with the diaspora, because to whom much is given, much is expected.
So let me tell you what I mean on blame there. Okay. The Kiwo Listener Salon, where the whole for lack of better words, the home base there gets this politic, I would say, against diaspora. It's because Salon there was a time when diasporas were given chances.
Okay.
They actually expected more from them. They were put in positions of trust. Okay. Then go there, then see past the home base is already ready. Then go to they bring some man there, not some institution there, where they not be one thing about the institution and they one thing. Total failure. You get junior manager and then institution there, where it should be 20,000 times more than the quality on top. We not be one thing about the institution and they. Total failure. Okay? Home agency don't say, hey, what's not going to give them money all inside credit there? Where the man lack. The man not sabi nothing.
You see,
right?
You see,
not true about everybody, not true about everybody, but these are the type of things we don't say man we don't go perform. Hopefully, my brother, that it's hard to make you say somebody say, oh, they bring another somebody from the diaspora can be the next Jesus Christ.
You see, Bashiru, on that side, it's still fall in the same category where I've been talk about political
appointments.
Yeah, where somebody, because most of the times there are people at the diaspora where they don't tire, they don't tire with the system I am, they want to go, maybe they're not able to make an up now, so they want where they go to salon. Now the 1 or 2 years where they appoint and turn down the way he want forget all the money where he be want forget now the diaspora, they're not able for what they call them. Now and most of the time, them people then they now just based on the same thing, relationships. Relationship is a very good thing, you understand? Oh, you know what? That man where they under, he don't give me $10,000 where I've been going to America, he go give me $10,000 now. I don't get this power. Let bring come, let just go catch and side where instead go able to manage himself. Even though you very well aware say that person is not even qualify for that. These are some of the problems that we will get married.
But Makota, this happens everywhere in the world, right? Donors, what you do with donors, people like that, right? Those are the people you give ambassadorship to. Okay? That's what is the difference between the ambassador and the consulate. The consular. The consular is the person who actually are the foreign affairs person, right? Now you're the career person. The ambassador, not just a ceremonial thing. You get the ambassadorship. Those are the people you put into boards, right? They're not running the institution every day, but they are part of the board. They get their own mass days, now if you want. You get me? But they're not in charge of crucial things. They're not in charge of crucial things. They're not on the board. They meet once or twice a month and get their money every month, so they pay there, right? If they're ambassador, it's not an ambassador to Guinea-Bissau, I go this Sunday. You get me? Those are the things that doesn't affect the daily running. We see it here in America. Also, John McCain in West Africa, the ambassador. So you give people positions that are reward for your election support and stuff like that. But you give them positions that are not important to the daily running of the country.
Yeah, I agree.
When you go put somebody, you go put them to a position. Like I said, so Monday, you know, evidence, if you want to be lecturer, even not the head of the department, you go put her in charge of 3,000-4,000 people for head institution, without man, you know, ever head.
The countries now.
Let's be honest, man.
We're going to talk more about this as we. I think one of the things when the main objective for this particular media are not being make this media for any money, for any profit. And that make when I created this media in 2010, the media was so popular. A lot of definitely now within the power. A lot of me APC folks them want for make I turn this into an APC media. I said no because there is a specific objective. The way I see with Sierra Leoneans and then they behave, I want for try my level best for educate some of the Sierra Leoneans them. Now the reason that they up to today, I refuse for put this particular media. Now that make this media now the only media, the entire way them call away SLPP member that they're comfortable for Canada. APC member that they're comfortable for Canada. NGC member that they're comfortable for Canada. ADP member that all the political party members are then comfortable for Canada because it is a national endeavor for make we able bring ourselves together. Even like we forum, WhatsApp forum. If you didn't have WhatsApp forum, everybody did it. All the political parties then did it. And you know what I do? I take the administrative of the forum. I bring in all the political parties together and I give them the administrative say, okay, you are admin. For do that thing. So I will continue for do that. And hopefully one day, 1 or 2 or 3 or 100 or 1,000 people that they will look and say, you know what? I hate man Kota, what they do because the relents for real idea, but I think this is a better thing for the country, and I will support them for make able for be part of EU fight for bring the community together. When I start the TPN forum, if you see the kind fets Sierra Leoneans fets SLPP feel same APC man na enemy. In fact, they talk only na the forum. You na the enemy. The APC members they say the SLPP na enemy. I tried to today na that forum they are swear to God. You see SLPP they talk to APC, then they enjoy, then they disagree. The disagreement is still there, but you see the kind of unification, the unity, and that's why I want for make we all they think for say it doesn't matter whether you na APC, na SLPP, or na what they call. At the end of the day, we are all Sierra Leoneans there, and we all they work towards one purpose. That is for make Sierra Leone a better place. A lot of people don't like that. And they see a lot of people that sometimes they give me jobs. But okay, it's okay. It's part of the job what they do. Go ahead, I'll give you the last one. For now, we'll wrap up.
Yeah, but Marcus, I think the problem is we get a lot of juveniles online.
Yeah, you're right.
Like for the, I mean, it's sad, but on the SLPP side and the APC side, I don't want to call them politicians because they're not reflecting the real thing of the politics of APC or SLPP.
Yeah, we call them juvenile adults.
Today you say, today you say, make hurricane come and will make you 1,000 people there. So the man will come up power tomorrow. They're ready for they will pray for make it happen. They will root for that hurricane day.
Yeah.
Right? Because so them, they don't make this politics here like saying now do or die.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people that also, what it to be their power, there's a lot of people that have felt that way about them. A lot of people is almost suffer. A lot of people have felt suffering in Salone. Okay? There's a lot of people that got targeted by APC governments. Okay? So this hurts where some APC they feel. This was real. So for make we heal and move forward, we have to acknowledge both sides. Not to only way you suffer, not to know suffering there. Suffering don't happen at Salone. Okuman lost their job then because of APC. The same thing about APC man or even Northerners and also even APC said all lost job then. We SLP don't have power. If we're going to fix this hurt, it cannot just be only when your side they win. So each of us say we let democracy, not like democracy. We just let power. Okay? If today you say that APC have power, if you pull APC people that say, what kind of power for make we just keep the power forever? I promise you, them more than 50% for the vote for that for supporters say, we go back to one party, say, we just stay in power. You do the same thing for SLP right now. You say, we just have power forever. Then go find way for vote for that too. Make them just have power. No, see happen like Guinea, Parliament vote for Tottenham. So that happen. Okay. It's not to make some pushback from Muna. And let's try to go for Tottenham. It's not to push back from some of Muna. And let's try to go for Tottenham.
Yeah.
So this greed about power, but maybe like so honest with they, I mean Kumbaya, this guy Salome, they do well. For some people they were doing well politically because this I still forget to say me they do politically well, doesn't mean say people in the suffer. So it's about also the grown dry. Maybe for me, grown soak. It don't mean say the one say grown dry wrong go. So I same to their power, all the man they grumble, you don't ever listen. So we say they talk. Now you are not just stop, everybody to stop. And you will try for cool, now the cool now for connect. If you don't cook at alone, it's nice to be their power. You can't take over. You could come alone.
No. That's not going to ever happen, you know. And APC is going to support them continue. Well, I don't say individually some people them, but the APC themselves not going to support them. If
I know, like I say, now juvenile land, they're not even the voice of the political parties. They're not the voice of political parties.
Yeah.
So to be honest, they're not the voice of political parties. A bunch of juveniles there, and more could stop for giving credit, like say, when they speak, that diaspora and they speak. Also, when they speak, but they have half big then online. Not to me to speak on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bashir, it's been a pleasure always for kind of the program and can give you educative ideas about things in the salon. I actually appreciate that. And I want people them. This is an interactive session. I know the TP and nothing but I wouldn't call it. We're always open for ideas. You disagree with me. You agree with me, it doesn't matter because it's part of the process of learning, you know. So I thank you very much for coming again, for showing your ideas. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Bye.
Right. So that was Mohammed Bashiru Darami, one of the frequent contributors now the TPN. I just want to read quickly before I wrap up within Musa Condeh say. Musa Condeh say, until we have leadership that will harmonize our positive energy, our trajectory will continue to be bleak. The next leader should not be afraid to try the uncomfortable and the unfamiliar steps to bring the change we need. We know Mr. AR, no, you don't well we country. I don't know which name. We know Mr. AR or Mr. R. I don't know. But thank you very much, Mr. Musa Condeh, and I agree with you. It's really a pleasure for listeners where they contribute to the discussions. It's very important. If Nami they talk no more, I know go learn from people them, and probably I will talk so much that people then will feel bored. But when we do these interactive sessions, they help a lot, and we get a lot of learning. So let's continue. No hesitate. Subscribe so that anytime when we come live, you will able to get a notification. You can either watch na YouTube or you watch na Facebook, or we get an app where na the radio. Go now we website where na tpnradio.com. You go also listening from there. Yanda na only the radio. Now you be able for listen to the websites, not the videos, the TV. So I thank you very much again. We'll see you back next week the same time and the same place. Salo now we get them. Now we all get them. Now we the poiler, now we the make them. And I prefer for now make them because there is only one Sierra Leone, right? It doesn't matter who say you did. Some of who get 2 passports. But to be honest with you, just look at your passport. What did they put there? Always they remind you say you are from somewhere. Always. So and that make us so glad the way the Supreme Court. We'll talk about that yesterday. Way about over 3,000 people. They watch we in YouTube alone on that one day. Where the Supreme Court finally give it the opportunity, let we make use of them and try for help the country. Thank you guys. May God bless we all.